Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist, and this is Pilates Rehab Relax. So today I wanted to guide you through some gentle exercises that you can do for your shoulder. These are all exercises where we're going to hold and sustain certain positions, and we call that type of exercise an isometric exercise. So we're holding and sustaining as we tense up the muscles there. I want you to work at a level that's right for you. So definitely don't strain too much. These shouldn't be painful. And with each of the exercises I do, I'm going to hold them for about 5 seconds, and I'm going to aim to do about 10 of them in a row. You might just do a few of them, you might build up towards 10. And again, you work on the guidance that you've been given from your doctor or your physiotherapist. The exercises have all got certain names that relate to the movement that our shoulder does. Some of them might seem a little bit complicated. The reason I've done that is because with certain groups of people, when they're recovering from things like operations, it might be that they've been told to do certain exercises but not others. So by having an index of what to do, by having specific names to them, hopefully it allows your therapist or your doctor to give you more specific guidance about what's right for you. So these are a really nice starting point for lots of people that are recovering from an injury or from having an operation. Or it might be you just got a little bit weak with your shoulder and you need to get it a little bit stronger. The first thing that I'm going to cover is something we call scapular setting. Your scapula is your shoulder blade. With any shoulder exercise, it's really important that we don't just exercise it in any old position. We want the shoulder blades to be in a really nice position to start off with. If we build that stable foundation, we know that when we're strengthening, we're less likely to cause problems later on. And if you start by strengthening it in a bad position, you're building on a sort of not great pattern of movement, really. So for good scapular setting, for good shoulder posture, a bit like when I do my Pilates lessons, what I talk about is having wide collarbones. So imagine you're trying to stretch your shoulders out to touch the wall either side of you there, so nice and wide. It's not the old military posture where I tense up and poke my chest out, because when I do that, I'm really overworking the muscles between the shoulder blades, and that can actually make us a bit sore, to be honest. So more of a nicer, a wide position, and it's a little bit like I'm trying to put my shoulder blades into my back pockets there. So when I do this, I can feel the muscle tense up a little bit around the bottom of my shoulder blade. My shoulders are nice and wide there, but say I'm not poking my chest out, it's just that nice wide position. And what I'm also looking for with that is that lengthening of my spine. So I've got a nice long neck to go with this. If you were uncertain of whether you've got the right position, if you stand up against a wall, then what you'll find, again, I'm going to put my feet about 1 shoe length away from the wall. I get the back of my head against the wall and my shoulder blades back and down there. So by having that wall behind me, it gives me a little bit of feedback if I'm in a good position. So for some of you, you might have a bit of a poking chin and you might not be able to get your head all the way back there. But this is a good position to aim for, and it gives me that guidance. So it might even be for you at home that for some of them, you actually lean against the wall while you're actually doing the exercise. And that way, when you're doing the exercise, you know that you're staying in a good position there. So the first exercise I'm going to do is resisting a movement of bringing the arm forwards. We call that movement flexion. So again, you could be stood against the wall while you're doing it, but what I'm looking for is for us to block the movement of that fist coming forward. So I'm going to use my hand in front of my knuckles there to resist that movement. I've set my shoulder in a good position. If you've got problems with your hands or your wrist, then it might be as an alternative that you clasp around the wrist there. But for me, I think that's the most comfortable position for me to resist here. So again, set my shoulder blade. I'm going to push forwards with that hand, and I'm resisting with this other hand. So here we go, and I push and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again, push forwards. 1, 2, 3, 5, and relax. And again, 4, 5, that's good. And again, 4, 5, and again, So that's 5. If you're only doing 5, then you can stop there. If you're going to try and build up to the whole 10, then keep on going. 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again, 4, 5, and again, nearly there. Just 2 left. 1, 2, 5, and one more time. And you can relax here, that's good. So that was the movement which we call flexion, of bringing the arm forwards. So the opposite of that movement is called extension. And I can definitely stand against the wall for this one. So again, my feet are about a shoe length away from the wall. I set my shoulder blades flat against the wall there. I've got that long neck. Now this movement is actually one of pushing my elbow back into the wall there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. So it could even be that you fold up a towel and pop it behind you there, just to give you that little bit of extra comfort, especially if you've got a cold wall. So that's it. So I push back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again. Keep on going. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the 5th one. If you're going to do the full 10 though, keep on going. And again, there's not a lot to look at here, is there? Because I'm just tensing the muscle up and you can't see much movement. But you work at your pace. And I think once you've got the idea of it, you're not going to need to watch me every time, are you? But this is about getting good technique, setting good foundations, so you've got that confidence to know what you're doing at home and that you do it right. So just a few more, and then we've done the full 10. Two, 3, 4, 5, and one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. That's great. So the next movement we're going to go on to is a rotation movement. If I go to bring my arms across my tummy with the elbow tucked into the side there, that's a movement that we call medial rotation or internal rotation. So for this movement to be resisted, I'm going to keep my elbow tucked into the side for this one. So if I had a bit of tissue paper stuck in there, if I had a napkin in there, that wouldn't move, it wouldn't fall out at all. And the movement I'm going to resist will be from around the wrist area. So I've got my hand over the wrist, and what I'm going to do, this arm's going to push inwards, and the opposite hand is going to apply some resistance there. And the whole time we do that, you keep in your good position again, yeah? Wide shoulder blades, long neck, you know it, you know it. So here we go, ready, steady, and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again, pushing in. 1, 2, and relax. So again, we'll aim for 10. You do whatever you've been told, or build up with 5, and towards the 10 you might do the full 10 right from the moment go there. And although I tense up with all these exercises, this isn't like I'm trying to win an arm wrestling competition. Yeah, it's a contraction, probably about 50% effort, I'd say. And relax. And again, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again. So I think that's 5 of those we've done. So again, you work at your pace, and you might be going quicker than me or slower than me. But again, if we're looking for strengthening, we want a sustained contraction, about 5 seconds, because we're looking to build that strength or endurance of the muscle. We want to do probably about 10 repetitions would be a good number. And relax. I mean, I'd often be sending people home with these and aiming for at least a couple of sets a day, and it depends what you're trying to achieve from the exercise. If you're recovering from an operation, it might be more than that, to be honest. So again, you work on the instructions that you've been given by your doctor or physiotherapist. So I think that's about my 10th one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Well, that was medial rotation, so we better strengthen in the opposite direction. So it's a bit of a movement, a bit like I was pulling some curtains apart. If I've got that elbow still tucked into the side of my tummy there, so imagine again you've got a napkin or a piece of tissue with the elbow against your side there, and the movement, this is going to be the same position more or less. I'm going to have my other hand over the wrist there, and so this arm is trying to pull outwards and this one's going to resist there, yeah? If you wanted to have a wall instead, it's the same thing, but it's pushing the back of your hand into the wall while you're stood square onto it. I'll do it with my hand over there though, if that's all right, just so you can see what I'm doing. So again, pushing outwards with one hand, resisting with the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and don't forget to keep your shoulder in a good position there. And again, push out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again 1, 2. You guys can count to 5 at home, I know. So again, it's not like you can see a great deal, but I promise I'm doing the exercise. So again, you work at your pace. So when we start doing a lot of our rehab, you know, a nice safe position is in this position with the arm tucked into the side with the shoulder blades wide. If you're recovering from an injury, it might be that quite soon after this you start to build up towards other exercises, or you know, even starting to use the arm in a slightly different position to this neutral position. It might be that you're slightly out one way or another. Your therapist again might give you some guidance on that. There we go, we've got one more to do. So tense up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax, that's good. Right, well there's another movement we're going to do, and that's one bringing the arm out to the side. So when I go to bring my hand away from my side, we call that movement abduction. The way that we can strengthen that movement, again, I can either use a wall or I can cup my hand underneath my elbow for it, but again this elbow is going to move outwards, like I'm trying to make a space between here and here, and my other hand is going to offer some resistance there. So again, you could be stood next to a wall as you're doing that, and that would be absolutely fine. So again, you set your shoulders in a good position, wide collarbones, long neck, and I push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and relax. So whereas before it was a rotation movement, this is more the elbow doing it rather than the back of my hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And again. 1, 3, 4, 5. And again. So again, you work to your pace. I think I've got one more to do, and then I've done my 5. For those of you doing 10, we'll keep on going. So again, I'll move away from the wall just so again you can see me in that other position. So again, push out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And keep on going there. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again. And again, I think there's one more left. Well, if that was the movement of abduction, if we bring our arm back in towards us, that's adduction, so adduction. And again, I mean, you can resist that. It might just be that you tuck your hand into your side just so you don't squash yourself. And again, offer some resistance there. So can you see that I've got my arm tucked into my side? And again, wide shoulder blades, long neck, and let's tense up and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. So I don't think this is going to give you a gun parade, but it is going to help with some of the muscles that we call your rotator cuff, and they're a really important muscle group actually. If your shoulder is a ball and socket joint, it's got lots of movement that's available there. but our body needs to have some stability to go with that, and the way it achieves that is by having these muscles working like little guide ropes. So as we go to move, these muscles are really good at doing all the fine tuning there, and so sometimes they can get weak, sometimes they can be injured, sometimes we might have operations around there. And these isometric exercises are a really good starting point of just getting them a little bit strong, starting to build up their strength there. So I'm not telling you to do the contractions here. I say 1, 2. I promise I've been doing them while I'm talking though. And relax. That's good. Right, there is one last exercise I want you to do for me, and that is the movement of bringing the shoulder blades forwards. So we call that protraction of the shoulders. The way I'm going to achieve that, I'm going to use my wall here again. I took my picture off the wall here to make space for this. So again, I bring my elbows up in front of me. There we go, hopefully you can see me right. I'm going to exercise on this arm so you can see what I'm doing. So again, I keep my shoulder blades nice and wide. I've got that long neck, and what I'm now going to do is imagine you've got a drawing pin underneath your elbow, so underneath here, and I'm going to do a movement of trying to push my elbow into the wall. So here we go, I'll talk you through it. So my feet are directly underneath me, I'm stood in a nice upright position, I'm not leaning into the wall particularly, but what I'm going to try and do now, and also I'd just like to say that I'm directly in front of them, they're not splayed out to the side, they're straight in front of me with this movement. And here we go, I push the elbow into the wall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And the whole time you're doing this, you've still got that long neck and those wide shoulder blades. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. So again, if you're just doing 5, that's your 5. For the rest of you, just a few more to do. And relax. And again, each time, holding for 5 seconds and relax. Well, there you go. That was 8 exercises to start to get your rotator cuff, to get your shoulder a little bit stronger. My feeling would be that's a really good starting point. Once you're comfortable with those, where I'd be looking to progress is onto doing some slightly more active movements there. I've recorded a series of exercises using some TheraBand, some exercise band, and I'll put a link up for that after this video is finished. But again, have a go with those, get stronger. You might build up how long you hold the contraction for, you might build a number of repetitions, and it might be that once you've started with me doing them in a nice mid position, that you build slightly into different ranges of movement with it to strengthen them more specifically. So again, good luck with them. I hope that was of use, and see you soon.